Are you being secretly sabotaged by your emotions? Stress, anxiety, fear? Does this making you fat? Yes, there are 5 surprising ways your emotions are getting in the way. Let's get into it.
I just read a thing. It's funny you went this direction. I just read a thing that said that 90% of all the fears and thoughts that we have that are like negative or bad in our head don't even happen.
Oh yeah, I've seen that.
It was a crazy stat. It was like
90%.
It's like stopped me in my tracks. Like, come on, that's got to be exaggerated.
Yeah.
So I didn't have a chance to like go down the rabbit hole of like trying to really get to the bottom of the research on that to see how accurate it was.
Yeah.
But it just, and since you brought this up, it just now landed. I was like, oh, that's interesting. You went this way because I just read that.
Here's why I'm going here. I saw some study. I've talked about this on the show before, where they've done studies where they'll take obese individuals, so they'll divide them up into groups. They'll take this group and they'll say, you're going to work on cognitive behavioral therapy, or you're going to work with a therapist over the emotional roots of your obesity. And then they'll take this other group and say, you're going to work out and eat right. So we're going to tell you what to eat. We're going to have you exercise.
Yeah. Who's more?
And the group with the therapist tends to do better.
Yeah.
And then there's other studies that combine it all, and they succeed at far higher rates than people that don't tackle those reasons. Now, I've talked about this on the podcast before because I've trained people for over 2 decades. So have you guys, and probably 10 years of my career, I realized this is where the success is. Mm-hmm. It's talking and getting to the root cause of these behaviors, not the behaviors themselves, but rather why they occur in the first place. And doing that made a huge difference in my success with my clients.
I mean, it makes sense. I mean, I feel like emotion can really rule over your decision-making process if you don't have a good handle over it. And I know that's it's a big influence on like what I'm going to set myself up for the day and like how I'm going to be able to get through these type of disciplines that I need to do.
Yeah, a big mistake that health and fitness people will make, because they're fitness fanatics. So they are not like the average person. They're fanatical about it. And what they do, they make 2 assumptions. One, they assume that everybody else can become a fitness fanatic, which it's not the case. And 2, they assume that the message that they've communicated to themselves is the one that most people will subscribe to. And what they end up saying is something like, food is fuel, food is energy, food is nutrients. But that's not how it works in the real world. Food is so complicated. Our relationship to food is so complicated that entire cultures, are created that revolve around food. There are different foods for different celebrations, and we rarely ever eat because food is fuel in modern societies. So this topic we're going to talk about is probably one of the most important ones for people who struggle with this, with any degree of challenge. Now, I'll start with the first one, which is stress-induced hormone changes. So chronic stress, chronic long-term stress, because stress is normal. Your body requires stress to adapt. Exercise is stress on the body. That's why you become more fit and stronger. And you can't live a stress-free life. That's impossible. Yeah. Life is challenging. It's, we get older, like things happen. But the kind of stress that sticks around and lingers causes some pretty nasty changes in the body. Now, there's some theories as to why that affects us so poorly. And one of them is that we weren't supposed to be under that kind of stress all the time. It was supposed to be, I can't find food, I found it. I don't have shelter, now I have it. There's a lion, now he's gone. So stress gone, safe. Right. But we tend to live in a world now where I'm getting texts and emails from people. I'm being informed of the entire world. Yeah. So although right now my life seems pretty safe, if I wanted to, I could read endless articles on why it's not safe and why it's so scary and what is going on.
You can find it really easy.
Right. And so what this creates is a hormone profile that promotes fat storage, in particular cortisol dysfunction. And I brought up some studies here. There was a 2017 study in obesity that found that high cortisol levels, or I think more accurately inverted cortisol, where it's low in the morning, high for the rest of the day, it's strongly correlated with greater abdominal fat, especially in women. Stressed individuals also tend to consume about 20% more calories from comfort foods. So one way that we tend to make ourselves feel better when we're moderately stressed all the time is to eat things that are hyper palatable, because while you're eating a donut or a cookie or something that you really enjoy, in that moment you notice temporary relief.
Yeah.
And so you're medicating yourself essentially.
There's social elements to that where it's like an association, and it kind of brings you into that thought process, and it helps to kind of cope with whatever stress you're going through. So yeah, emotional eating has always been one of those things that is a really hard thing to battle when that is sort of your go-to comfort.
Totally.
Bringing it back to the point that I brought up, I find it interesting that it's like how much of this is real, real stress, and how much of it is just perceived.
Yeah.
How much of this is that you just believe all these things are so bad, so this, and how much of it actually, I mean, you bring up we're not being chased by lions. It's like how much of the stuff that we make into stress and big problems is even necessary.
Yeah. A majority of it, I think, is self-created, because to just piggyback off this, when you take these same individuals and they follow a spiritual practice, or they do therapy or meditative practice or mindfulness, you see a dramatic reduction.
Rid of it.
You see a dramatic reduction. And in many of those cases, they didn't change necessarily the circumstances. They still have the same job. They still have the stress of their kids. They still have
they reframe it, and they offload it too. Which a lot of people don't know how to offload this stress.
Right.
Keep it.
And some of this is even a gratitude practice. Like I brought up spiritual practices, which involve lots of prayer and praise. I've experienced this recently. Every other hour, what I try to do is reflect on what I'm grateful for that happened the previous couple hours, just so it's very specific. And what I'm finding is I miss a lot.
Yes.
There's so much stuff that I miss that I could be grateful for because I take it for granted. Like it's a sunny day, or I went for a walk and oh my God,
or you're anticipating problems to your earlier point that don't exist. And so your thoughts are there and you're not right now.
That's
like
right.
What's happening?
We're not wired to think about the good stuff. We're wired to focus on the negative. So you have to consciously make that choice. And here's the cool thing about neurobiology with that. When you're being grateful, the brain shifts from the part of the brain that processes stress and anxiety to the part of the brain that doesn't process that. So being grateful is actually
they can't coexist at the same time.
That's right.
Yeah, you got to be working.
You can't be super grateful and feel super anxious at the same time.
I mean, it's arguably one of the more brilliant things that you've said on the podcast. I've actually adopted it personally since you've brought it up, and I've shared it with several people as just hey, what a hack is, because I know a lot of people have done the gratitude thing before and have run into the same thing. I feel like you're in one camp or the other. Either you swear by it and you're like, yeah, I'm all about my gratitude practice and it's changed my life. Or you're the other person who might have tried it and been like, I did it. And the people that say, that's because I feel like they all come to the same conclusion.
Yeah, it was the same repeated stuff.
I'm grateful for my family. I'm grateful for my job. You're grateful for like the top 5 things that you're always grateful for. And just simply, and I've been doing the same thing. I haven't put like an alarm or anything like that, but I'm consciously trying to do it at 11 a.m. and then at 1, just random parts of the day. And then the things that you're grateful for are so different. So different.
Isn't it weird?
Yeah. And
like you miss it otherwise.
And then it really, it just changes that day. That day just gets exponentially better, even if there wasn't anything great going on per se, because of how much it shifts your perspective.
What's the bottom line with this? I'm going to sell it real hard to the people listening, because most people listening want to improve their health and fitness. If you do this and lower your overall stress, the data shows you'll get leaner.
Yeah.
That your behaviors will start to change and you'll actually get leaner.
It changes you.
That's right. The next one is emotional eating, depression and anxiety in particular. There was a 2020 International Journal of Eating Disorder study that reported that 60% of individuals with depression engaged in emotional eating, consuming an average of 500 extra calories a day during depressive episodes. Anxiety increases snacking frequency by 30%. Again, when you feel chronically, kind of low to moderate levels so we're not talking about the crippling, depression, anxiety, like you need that treated, right?
Yeah.
We're talking about the kind of moderate level, low level depression, kind of feeling blue, that anxiety that kind of, lingers in the background. You just want to break from it. If you guys have ever felt this, I have, like when you kind of have that all day long, like 20-minute break is amazing. And an easy way to do that is to self-medicate with food or snacking. In that moment,
or alcohol. I mean,
or alcohol or
this
anything
is
else.
a big one, yeah.
Yeah. And so it contributes to this increase in caloric intake. So solving that makes a huge difference. So what I did with my clients who struggled with this is when they felt blue or like anxious and they started reaching for snacks, I didn't tell them not to do the behavior. I didn't say like, no, don't do it. I said, before you do, write down what you're feeling and then go ahead and do it.
Well, I wonder, I mean,
it made a difference.
Some barrier there.
Now hearing I mean, I never did this with clients, but now kind of putting together the whole gratitude throughout the day thing. This is something, if I was a trainer still training clients and I had a client that was struggling with the snacking or emotional eating, I would actually say, like, I'm not going to tell you can't. I just want you to write 3 things you're grateful for before you
That's
go.
another great one.
I mean, what a hack that would be. It's like
that's really
telling the client that, not that they can't do it, just, hey, before you do it, do this for me. Right before that, sit down, write out the 5 things you're grateful for in that moment, and then go ahead and have the thing and see what happens.
It'd be interesting to see how many people
It would be interesting. It'd be really interesting to see how many people would either, one, adhere and actually do the step, or else they'd be like, no, I didn't even do it. And then, of course, you ate. Or how many people like did the thing and they're like, you know what, I'm okay.
Today's giveaway is MAPS Split. To win that, leave a comment below this video. It's first 24 hours that we drop it. Subscribe to this channel. Turn on notifications. If you win, we'll let you know in the comment section. We also have a sale. MAPS Split and the Anabolic Metabolism Bundle of programs. They're all 50% off. Head over to mapsfitnessproducts.com and then use the code July50 for the discount. Here comes the show. Okay. I remember we had dinner years ago with Paul Chek. And this was before I even had a faith or anything like that. I was at this point pretty atheist. But what he did it before dinner was he did this strange prayer. And I say strange because he doesn't follow any real like specific religion. But I remember him, he put his head down and it looked like he paused. And I said, hey, I didn't know you were like religious. He's like, well, I'm not. I said, well, what are you doing? He says, well, I'm asking my body if this is what it wants. I'm asking, I'm considering the food and what's in the food. He basically all he did was pause and essentially do what would be, I think, equivalent or similar to like a prayer. And then I realized like, oh yeah, if you're spiritual, if you make a conscious effort to do a short prayer, it probably does bring awareness and a little bit of gratitude and kind of do something similar. Sure. Just that pause, because that's what he did. He just paused and said, he's like, I talked to my body. Is this what you want? Is this good for you? Do you think you should? And I'm like, when you imagine doing that before eating like a Pop-Tart. You might be like, nah, I don't think I want Pop-Tart anymore. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I think it helps. I think it might help quite a bit. Yeah. Next, we have mindless eating or boredom eating. Here's what's interesting about this one. If you eat while on your phone, because this is what we tend to do when we're quote unquote mindless these days, we're on our phones.
You're distracted. Yeah,
so you're scrolling. It's mindless, right? You're not really intentional. You're just kind of going through. People who are eating while on their phone scrolling eat about 15% more calories. Like everything else being the same.
Yeah.
Now why? Because you're distracted from your body's signals of satiety. So it takes a bit longer for you to process, I'm done. So like imagine you're like, I want some chips, okay? And you're about to watch a movie. Now imagine you're like, you know what? I'm gonna eat some chips. I'm just gonna sit at the table. I'm not gonna be on my phone. I'm just gonna eat some potato chips. You're gonna eat way less than if you ate the chips in front of the movie or on your phone. That mindless eating one is a easy way to cut 10 to 15% of calories.
It was funny. I was driving home from Truckee and we had to stop like on I-5 and there's just, there's no options at like a gas station in the middle of nowhere, and I'm just like, I'm just gonna get some chips. And I was just talking to Leia. I'm like, yep, chip stop. And she was like, you'd be so surprised. Like, I cannot keep my racks filled enough with chips. Like, people are obsessed with chips. I'm like, of course. It's just like that. And think about how many calories you just cram in there so easily. Like, they're just loaded with calories, and it's the easiest thing ever to just consume.
I think the part of not being distracted too is because I think a lot of us have, because I'm guilty of this very, very much so, of just some of my eating behaviors from always eating distracted, that even when I'm not distracted, you start to become aware of some things that like and you've talked about this before, where you're eating a bite and you're already like shoveling the next. You're still chewing the food and you're already
You're not thinking about what's in your mouth.
Yeah, you're already like getting the next one ready, and you're like, and then you're swallowing, and it's like, if you just notice that and realize, like, again, don't tell yourself you can't. Sure, enjoy the thing, but like actually eat it and swallow it before the next bite is cut. You know what I'm saying? Like, watch what happens.
Yeah, there's some techniques to this, because the opposite of mindless eating is mindful eating. So what you do is you sit, so don't stand, you sit, you eat with your food, there's no distractions, and you put your fork down in between. Don't drink any water, because that'll encourage you to chew, and just do that. Okay, here's what the data shows on this, everybody. Let's say you want to cut your calories by 15 to 20%, but you don't want to try to cut your calories. You just want it to happen naturally.
You want to eat the same.
Just do that.
Yeah, just do that.
Don't even change what you're eating. You'll eat less. Just by sitting at a table with your food by yourself and just paying attention to what you're doing.
Like, watch it.
It slows. It's crazy. I did the mindless eating a lot too, Adam, because I trained so many clients during the day.
We're all the same with that.
That I had a client.
You had 5 minutes, so you shoveled down.
It became a terrible habit.
500 calories, and it was actually a competitive thing. It was like, how can I get this 50-gram, 500-calorie meal down before the next client's done warming up? You know,
I actually had a client who worked in functional medicine who pointed it out, because I was talking about my gut health, and he goes,
"This is not helpful."
And he saw me eat. He saw me eat once. I didn't train him for very long, but he did. He actually taught me something. He watched me eat, and he goes, "You take your food like supplements." I'm like, "What do you mean?" He's like, "You put it in your mouth, you wash it down like they're pills." I'm like, "Does that hurt my digestion?" He goes, "Yeah,
it would be
doing that forever, and it's like definitely backfired. Now I'm like, all the repercussions. I have to eat so slow. It pisses me off.
It would be a really fun experiment to take a group of people through a no diet, meaning we take all the tips that we give that has nothing to do with food choice.
That's how I coach people at the end, Adam. That's
I know, and like really combined all of them. It's just like, hey, listen, we're not even going to talk about the food you're supposed to eat, but we're just going to give all the advice of like mindful eating, the chewing so many times, the not why distracted. It's just like, let's just see what happens if you just set those parameters and not told someone. And I wonder just how successful a lot of people. I know you would miss on some things, right? Like, I'm aware that even if I do all those things, that I tend to gravitate towards more carb heavy foods, and so I undereat protein.
Yeah.
So that one,
it's not going to fix everything,
right? But I bet it would keep it would keep you from putting on a bunch of body fat.
So the clients that I did what you're saying to are the ones that were so apprehensive to any kind of control
structure.
That I did that, and it turned into it was usually about 8 to 10 pounds in 3 months of weight loss.
It's good momentum to build.
8 to 10 pounds of fat loss in 3 months without really watching and changing anything. Just doing those. That's actually remarkable. By the way, it's not as easy as it sounds. So someone listening, I had a client, I'll give you an example. I had a client who did this, and because she was super apprehensive. So I said, okay, here's what I want you to do. When you eat, sit at a table, just you and your food, don't drink any water. If you feel like you're going to go to the cupboard to snack, just write down a few thoughts. So I had a journal. Here's what she did. This is how difficult it is. She would find herself at the grocery store grabbing snacks from the little snack bins as she grocery shopped, because she so badly wanted to mindless eat. To the point where, like, she came to me and we talked about it. She's like, I didn't even realize. I just realized it the other day. I still do that. She's like, oh my God, it's such a pattern. It's
just ingrained in it.
It's hard to break. Next up is sleep disruption. So there was a 2019 sleep journal study that showed that less than, or on average, 6 hours or less of sleep per night increased hunger by 24% and fat gain by 26% over time. So poor sleep is a very difficult environment for fat loss. It's a pro-fat gain environment. It's also an anti-muscle.
Just knowing
survival.
That was a big help for me. Just knowing the role it played in your cravings helped me out. Just because
you knew you'd have cravings tomorrow.
And I think that's just, I can't stress enough to the audience that's true. Never just try to pay attention to this. Like, it's like anything else. Like, if you know, Katrina jokes about this all the time. Maybe this is just my personality. I don't know. Because she's like, if I take you somewhere that I know you're going to get irritated because there's lines or whatever the thing is, if she gives me the prep before, I'm fine. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, we're going to go here. There's going to be a line. We'll probably have
to sit. That's so true, bro.
It is.
So
and I'm like,
behavior.
Because I know, I'm like,
you don't,
I'm mentally prepared.
It's not unexpected.
Exactly. Yeah. So handle it. Same thing goes with this. If I have a poor night of sleep and I know, oh boy, sometime today, I'm gonna crave that weird greasy food that I never crave, and it's gonna feel so strong. And just telling myself that ahead of time, so that when it's like, oh, here it is. I knew it was gonna come today, and it's like, okay, don't do it.
You cannot understate what you just said, Adam. I'll paint a scenario. You're driving somewhere, and you know that the place you're going to has traffic on the way there. It's not that annoying. Now, imagine driving somewhere you drive to all the time, no traffic, you hit traffic. Super.
You're stuck in it.
Yes.
Yeah,
so
miserable.
what you're saying is so important is if you're like, oh, I had bad sleep, I'm probably going to have cravings tomorrow. Makes a huge difference.
And again, not putting on these crazy parameters, but just the awareness around it really helps navigate that situation significantly better. And even if you have a hard time resisting, at least you're kind of aware of it, so you don't go over the top with it.
It definitely will mitigate some of the damage.
Yes,
for sure.
Big time.
So with this one, it's just this. Create a sleep routine. An hour before bed, prepare yourself for sleep. Turn the lights down, blue light blocking glasses.
Give
don't eat any
yourself a
food.
chance. Yeah.
Go to bed at the same time every night. Wake up at the same time every morning, even if you have trouble sleeping, so that you're not jet lagged every Monday because you went to bed late and slept in over the weekend. Like those two things right there make a big difference with sleep alone. And then lastly, low motivation. This comes from low levels of depression and anxiety. It actually makes you feel frozen. You actually feel stuck. This is what it feels like. When you're kind of struggling with this like kind of low to moderate depression or anxiety, you don't want to do the very thing that may lift you out of it, which is move. And I remember Arthur Brooks communicating this. He said, the thing that you do is the thing you don't want to do. The first couple steps, you need to force yourself and then watch the magic. Start small is what I would say.
Yep.
So there was a 2021 Journal of Affective Disorder study that found that depressed individuals are 40% less likely to meet physical activity guidelines. So here's what you do. If this is you, give yourself a tiny goal and say, I'm going to walk outside for 5 minutes and then come back and sit down. That's it. What tends to happen, not always, but what tends to happen is, one, you get the 5 minutes because you forced yourself. But two, the 5 minute walk, suddenly you feel like going another 5 minutes or you want to do it again. This is also a recipe for anxiety. If you have like general anxiety where you don't want to be around people, start small and say, okay, I'm going to go to the grocery store, or I'm going to invite one person over that I feel comfortable being anxious around. And then what happens is it starts to kind of work through the problem. So this one is more of a like force yourself to take one small step, then the next steps are easier to take.
It's a behavior thing, and this was a big one for me too. A big one I had to learn myself. I think of it a lot like saving and investing. A lot of people sometimes will be like, well, I don't make that much extra money to save, or I can't invest, I can't get ahead. It's like you start even with the smallest commitment. It's $5. And what you do is you play this game in your head going like, well, I'm never going to retire off of $5. I'm never going to get like this. But it's like, it's that attitude that keeps you from the next level of that. It's like, but just starting that, you'll see, oh, wow, I actually had 10 I could save this month. Or, oh, same concept. It's like, I'm going to go say to myself, you know what, I'm just going to go to the gym and do a set of squats, or go to my garage and do a set of squats. I'm not going to overcommit to a big workout. But then what happens, and maybe that day, that's all you do. But then you're like, oh, I did that. That wasn't that bad. And then tomorrow I'm like, I could do that again. And then it's like, oh, I'll do 2 more things. And before you know it, those behaviors start to compound and you have momentum.
Now, here's some good news. Exercise is one of the most powerful anti-anxiety, anti-depression interventions based on all the data. It's more effective than anything. And unlike medications, it creates what's called a positive feedback loop. Okay, so positive feedback loop is a loop that continues to accelerate in a positive way because what you do impacts the next thing, which gets better, which makes the next thing better. In other words, starting an exercise routine makes you exercise more, makes you feel better, which makes you want to exercise
stronger, more energy.
Yes. So starting this process, as hard as it may be, actually gets easier as you continue because of the positive feedback loop. It's funny you brought up investing, Adam. There's this trending topic on X right now that is a little frustrating to see because people just don't have any idea, and it's easy to paint certain people as villains. So here's this is what's trending, okay? Because it's all over right now, that there's zero need for billionaires. Like billionaires shouldn't exist. Someone should not have that much money.
So they're typing this in their smartphone.
Yeah, no. So this is why it's frustrating, is because there's a few different reasons. One, in market-based societies, a billionaire became a billionaire because they did something so impactful to society that we gave them billions of dollars.
Yeah.
So that's number one. Number two, and people are like, oh, they got government subsidies and this and that. Maybe that's true, but I'll tell you what. If I gave $100 million, okay,
to any of those people,
anybody
to be gone,
anybody out there, nobody would be able to turn it into $1 billion.
Bro, nobody would be able to turn it to $101 million.
They wouldn't be able.
Nobody could take $100 million unless you purely put it away in an interest account that compounded and then didn't spend.
They couldn't double it, that's for sure.
Oh,
let alone $1 billion.
Yeah, I don't think they could go 101. It's just, I don't think you could. I don't think you.
It's like giving someone $1 million to turn it. By the way, taking $1 million and turning it into 10 million is exponentially easier, however difficult it is, than it is to take $100 million and turn it into $1 billion. So when I hear people say, and then here's the third part, you're assuming that if we tax the hell, because what they're making the case is that let's tax the hell out of them, because who needs all that money?
But that's not going to have a downstream effect.
You're assuming the government's going to do a better job with that money.
Yeah, exactly.
I think we've all learned that there.
I know.
We
know how good the government is.
Frustrating.
I know, it's so frustrating.
I think what's really frustrating for me too is, I mean, I love talking to like somebody that is, first or second generation immigrant that's come over here. That's why they came over here, was for the American dream, because we have a country where, did you guys see Arnold on The View not that long ago?
No.
Oh, that blew up in their face. They brought Arnold on the View to talk about immigration and stuff and everything going on. And I think they intended for him to kind of go his way. And he was just talking about just, how lucky we are to be here.
Yeah.
Just that in America, you could really come from nothing and say, I'm going to go be, I'm going to go do, I'm going to go make. And there's literally nothing getting in your way of possibly doing it, but you are capable of doing that. There's not a lot of places in the world that you can do that. And part of it is the way it's structured, is that competitiveness that if you find a way to help others and serve others so good that millions of people give you millions of dollars, you can become a millionaire or a billionaire. And that's really what it is can you figure out to serve people in a way that people will continuously give you money so it stacks up to be millions, hundreds of millions, maybe if you're even lucky, billions of dollars.
Yeah.
And you just can't do that anywhere else.
The thing I like to, I guess the picture I like to paint is, who would I rather have? Because by the way,
there's dysfunction, there's cronyism, there's problems, and that gets highlighted all the time, but we're not focused on all the benefits.
It's the same thing in argument. It's the steroid argument. This is why I hate this argument too. It's like, you were an asshole before the $1 billion. You're just a rich asshole now. You know what I'm saying? You were an asshole before the steroids. You're just a buff asshole now. It's like, no one's saying, I'm nowhere am I defending all billionaires
and saying they're good people.
No, like
they're good at
making money.
They're very good at providing services that a lot of people and products that a lot of people want. But the picture I like to paint is, you have somebody who figured out how to do something that made them $1 billion, which means they served a lot of people in some pretty remarkable ways, or in ways that people want to be served. I'm not even saying that what they're doing is good, because they could have created Pornhub or something like that. My point is, they served, like, we gave them that money.
Yes.
But do they...
We voted for that with our dollars, which is more effective than the other voting.
Who would I prefer to have that money? Them or the government? And then have the government figure out what... Not the government, that's for sure, because we know what they do with money. So... Yeah, so I see that going all over the place. I'm like, oh man, I can't. That's what I was commenting. Like, I could give you $100 million. Do you think you could turn it into $1 billion? Because I guarantee you wouldn't. I guarantee you wouldn't even make 10 more million with $100 million. People have no idea how challenging it is to do something like that.
I get it. I had some family that went through like a layoff recently in their company. And, I'd overheard them talking about their frustration, like, because this company lost their largest account. And so they had to lay off all these people. And from their perspective, working in this like assistant manager type of role within the company, they were just like infuriated the company laid off all these people. And it's like, well, they lost their biggest account that pays this company that then in turn pays. But people don't see from that perspective. They see it as like, oh my God, there's these people that have been working for this company for 13 years. And just like that, they laid them off and they let them go. But it's like, if they don't, they're going to have to let go of everybody because they're not going to have a business at all because they lost this massive account. The responsibility of building something that supplies an income for people at all, meaning multiples, or some of these companies, hundreds or thousands of employees, like, that's a massive responsibility.
Is continue to make profits.
Yeah.
That's the main thing.
That's the main thing. And you are serving a ton of people and indirectly tens of thousands. Like, not only is your product, your thing, whatever it is, I'm not arguing whether it's good or bad, is helping or serving a ton of people, but also the amount of jobs you've created not only are helping those people, those families, and all the people that they can impact indirectly. It's like, it's crazy.
I know.
And it's crazy to think that those people shouldn't get rewarded based off the size or the amount of those people that they serve and help.
By the way, you know what I like to, when people like really debate this or argue this, I like to tell them, do you think that LeBron James deserved the money that he made in the NBA?
Yeah, of course.
And they all say, well, yeah.
Of course.
Have you seen him play? He's incredible. It's like, that's not really different than what we're talking about.
Yeah,
you know?
no.
They deserved it. He performed really well.
Yeah, and that's the irony, Sal, of that argument. It's like, how many, and I'm sure LeBron has a team of people he's supplying, but I guarantee it ain't as much as Facebook or Google.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I guarantee
yeah.
he's not providing as much jobs and service for as many people as the people that are running these massive companies.
And then back to this, like just, the best thing, because we decide, by the way, the market decides where things go, and the market is us.
Yeah.
So we don't like something.
We have the most say in that direction.
Don't give them money.
To your government versus like free markets.
A lot of people say, by the way, that they want something, but their actions don't support it. Like, I want, local farmers, but they won't buy the more expensive local products.
Yeah.
Because they need to
keep
think
them
about
in business. I mean, this is all part of it.
That's right. It's all about
I mean, I don't know. All this is going to get shaken up, man. All this pointing the finger that this person makes that much, does all this, has all this. Like, I feel like the whole dead internet theory and AI thing is so much closer around the corner.
Man.
Have you guys noticed just your Instagram feed? Have you like
all the viral stuff is AI?
Yes.
Yeah.
Like, I felt like literally just a month ago.
Bro, the influencer market is going to collapse.
It felt like a month.
Yes.
It already is.
Yeah.
Felt like a month ago. I know. Thank God.
Yeah. I'm like, you guys.
Thank God we were never good at it.
I know, right? They're so awkward.
So much of sour old guys. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm so glad that shit.
I was horrible. That's yeah.
It's
fuck
like,
it.
I mean, it's not going to change. I mean, I don't know if the information will get better, but it's going to be AI personalities that are going to crush because they can produce better content faster, put it out. It's more entertaining, and the whole influencer market.
So the debate my buddies and I were having, it was like, I guess a debate, it was a discussion that we were having. Like, he was asking me, what do you think? And we were kind of going back and forth. So when this dead internet theory plays out, which I feel pretty confident it's going to, I don't know if there's debate on that. We can debate that too if you want, but let's play that out. And my buddy's like, I'll just lose interest in the internet. I won't care anymore because it'll be like that. I'm like, will you? I said, do you really think so? Because all the people you follow because of whatever thing. They're funny, they're entertaining.
Yeah, you ain't like, that's my friend.
Exactly. They teach you about cards. They teach like what are the things? Like, I know he's into different stuff, right? So I'll name all the things that you follow and you're into. What if I made all that even better? You're not going to follow it? Like, I don't know, bro. I said, I think we're going to have a lot of zombies.
You want to talk about, I do too. You want to talk about blessings. I feel so blessed that the media that we chose was podcasting. We did that on purpose because you can't really communicate.
Because we're not handsome.
Yeah, that's why. We look in the mirror. Let's do the one where they just hear us.
We have a face for radio.
No, it was because like you can't communicate health and fitness effectively. You have to have conversations.
Yeah.
This is what it's like when you train people. But thank God, because the last media to get taken over by AI is going to be podcasting because it's long form.
Yeah.
That'll be the one that I think, and that's going to happen too. That's going to happen too. At some point, it's going to be a bunch of AI personalities. My cousin showed me a couple podcasts that was all AI. And I was cracking up. I'm like, wow, this sucks, dude.
Weird.
Yeah, it sucks right now, but it's going to get good.
No, not that it sucked. It sucks to hear that it was actually pretty good.
Oh, I was going to say, it's getting good already. It's not that far.
Yeah.
But we got on this topic. There's all these cool already apps. So there's three of us. One of my buddies is like almost oblivious to it. My other buddy, who is a teacher and so that, is like very privy to a lot of it. And he's in many areas further along, even though I'm in this space. because he's in high school, a bunch of kids. So he's like, so we're sitting right there, and he's talking about how good I don't think you do, and why we were talking. I see him on his phone, kind of messing for like literally 2 minutes, and then all of a sudden he had drafted this like custom video from Donald Trump to him, talking like all this personal stuff about him.
And it was Donald Trump?
Yeah, it was. It looked like him. It sounded like him. It was a video. It was talking to you, Justin Preston, with a small penis. I just want you. Yeah, my buddy did that while we're talking, and then had that, and he was like, "What?" He's like, "Yeah, that's how easy and fast it is, bro." He's like, "It's only a matter of time before all the content."
Which makes me 100%. Although I didn't need this, but 100% do not believe the new surveillance tape from the Epstein.
No.
They're like, oh, we have the surveillance tape, guys. We didn't lose it after all.
Oh, I didn't.
Nothing happened.
Oh, and then all of a
Shut
sudden,
your face.
yeah, they don't have a list. He never had a log or a list. Like, just come on, dude.
Baloney. He killed himself.
We're not
he didn't
idiots.
kill himself. Oh,
yeah,
God.
we know you can't. Just say you can't release it.
They're releasing the video.
So
They're like,
you
oh,
can't
look.
release the real stuff.
Yeah, the FBI came out like, oh, we did an
Get outta here,
investigation.
dude.
I mean, this has
This
to. I
is
mean,
such,
don't you
like-
guys think? Because obviously
Such
now
bullshit.
between having Biden and Trump in there, this is not a left or right thing. This is
a power thing. This is a world power
They
thing.
got everybody. Bro.
everybody. Yeah.
Everybody.
Everybody's in it.
You
Yeah.
wait. Yeah.
Yeah, everybody wants to point the finger and be like, "Oh, I bet so and so." It's
And
like
to be honest
everybody.
with you, what this makes
All these fuckers are on there.
and what
dude.
makes me like the fear that I would have is, would we want to know? Could you imagine if the truth came out and it implicated all the biggest leaders and celebrities and people, and I think people would just not believe it.
I mean,
that's crazy. It can't be.
I know.
It can't be all those people. That's impossible. That's a world cabal. There's no way.
Yeah.
I think it would just shake things up so hard that people would.
That's a good question. If that came out, would we believe it? Probably not.
Yeah. It was just leaders on both sides of the aisle, other countries,
just like you're seeing,
religious leaders, like all this.
Even if it is true, nobody's going to do anything about it. That's just the bottom line.
Or it would turn into like
Anarchy.
Because
it
they-
would turn into executions.
Well, the
which
power
shouldn't be good
structure,
either.
they hold all the keys, they hold all the buttons. Like, what are we supposed to do about it?
You know, on the topic of like shadiness and so that, did you guys ever get a chance to watch James Smith, his video that he did on all the fake creatine gummies?
I did.
Did you watch it?
Yeah, it's good.
Bro,
I appreciate what he did.
I know.
He took a
I
bunch
love
of creatine gummies and he tested a bunch of them, third-party testing, and a significant percentage of them had nothing. Nothing. They're just candy. Bro, you got people
straight up a gummy.
They're just eating candy, bro. They buy a $70 bag of candy with nothing in it. Unbelievable.
Yeah. And for a premium price. You can,
Now, we work with companies that make, Organifi has the cherry chews.
Legit.
Okay. By the way, I feel
like you could taste it.
You can. This is what I'm going to say. This is what I'm going to say to everybody right now. When you eat a creatine gummy, like the cherry chews, or you find one, you eat it, you could tell creatine's in it because there's a little bit of the grittiness is in there. A little bit of it's in there. It's not like a smooth, perfect gummy.
It's like taking your taking your medicine gummies, your vitamin C gummies. Like it's good for vitamin C. Yeah. It's good for some medicine, but it ain't like Sour Patch Kid good. if your creatine gummies like Sour Patch good, you got something going on. You know?
Yeah, because the cherry chews taste good. Yeah. And they've got good ingredients
for creatine.
And
gummies.
I know they're legit because I trust them very much. They work with Pure, which is a company that's legit creatine. But when you eat it, you could tell there's creatine in it.
Yeah.
You could tell.
A little bit of graininess there. There's creatine.
You know, too good to be true. You know what it reminds me of? Do you guys remember at one time we were up in Truckee? And I don't remember. It's probably Adam that convinced us to get some ice cream from the grocery store. And I was eating,
he takes me down first.
I know. But I was eating ice cream. We were watching a movie, and I was eating out of a small pint. And I was eating it. I was like, oh my God, this is the best dairy-free ice cream I've ever had in my entire life.
No,
remember this? I ate like half of it. I don't know who pointed it out. I think it was you, Justin. You're like, I don't think that's dairy-free, bro. And I look at it, it was regular. I was like,
just I ate half a panic.
Bro,
he's like, I'm going to be on the toilet.
I had the worst stomach after that. But while I was eating, it reminds me of this creatine gummy thing. While I was eating, it was too good to be true. I was like, this is like, they have really nailed this. This is the best.
Dairy candy, you just lift weights. Like,
Now, what's interesting to me, and I have to ask James, I don't know if James is following like those companies that he called out, do they stay in business? Do people still keep buying them anyways?
After it's been called out?
Yeah. Like,
because they would come back with nothing. like almost nothing in them.
Yeah, that's
it wasn't like a little off.
Yeah,
Oh.
it's one bad. It's one thing if it was a little off or had added sugar, added things like that. but
Well,
it's
the
just
two
like,
scenarios he painted, he said, I don't know what's worse, and I agree with him. Either they didn't know and they were fooled, in which case you're the worst CEO ever, or you knew and you were fooling people, in which case you're the worst CEO. So either way, you're embarrassed.
Yeah.
Terribly embarrassed.
yeah, I think that's a. I think you know. I think you know. I think you know. You know how unregulated the supplement industry is, and it's like a race to market. And you also know that what sells better than the best supplements is the best tasting supplements.
That's all the categories of
So
supplements. Are the
if
best
you
tasting
know
and the
those
best
things and
Yep.
you're not the highest of integrity person, then it's literally a race to market. Can I get the best tasting?
How many times has this happened, by the way? What bar was it? Was it Detour?
Yeah, Detour.
That they were like,
I
oh my God,
remember-
30 grams of
I
protein.
remember-
it was a candy
I
bar.
remember that too because I remember that was when that bar hit. There used to be a little.
Because it was a candy bar.
There was a liquor store right next to Capitol McKee that had them. And I would
crush 'em.
Oh, I was crushing those. I was like, man, this is the best ever. I was like, I get to eat candy and get jacked. That's what
It tastes like leather at all. You
bro.
know?
And when they got caught and they changed their formulation, oh, the taste changed so much. It was like, oh, this is no longer good. It went from like a Snickers bar to a terrible bar.
Those assholes.
Yeah, dude.
I was eating those like crazy.
Oh, I was eating them. like
Tried to
that.
gain muscle.
I was too.
How
dude.
much protein was actually in this? It said 30. It was like
30 something. It was like 32.
That's what it said.
Yeah.
But
And
it was like
oh, it was like
10.
8. Yeah, it
That
was
was
like-
like the peanuts
yeah.
that were in there.
Yeah,
What
yeah.
was that website that you could go on and to see whether or not they had clinical
Is that
studies
exam.com?
Yeah, do they bring this up?
Not
with
specific
like,
companies.
Okay.
No, it's more about the actual
In general.
the actual
the
ingredient.
supplement?
Yeah.
That's who it's speaking of good companies, right? You talk about Organifi, Legion, like those guys. You go through places like that.
They
like
do.
That's
And it's always interesting because they're like, yeah, let's go ahead and regulate, because they're already ready for that and they're doing all the due diligence with all these studies on their own and paying for it. But yeah, it's just that's kind of the environment.
Yeah, dude, I got to tell you guys, I went to watch. Are you guys? You might like this movie. I know you won't because it's too scary for you, Adam. But did you? Were you?
true.
Yeah, it's true. You just don't like
true,
scary
it's
movies. Did you like the movie 28 Days Later?
Yeah, it was crazy.
Okay.
That was like an
It's a
actual
zombie
scary
one, right?
zombie.
It's a zombie one?
So back
They're
when that
fast.
came out,
Didn't Rob Zombie make that or something?
no,
Oh, that's a different one.
no, his movies are.
Yeah, his are wild.
Why? Why? I don't even understand. Yeah, I don't get them. Doug, can you look up 28
Gory.
Days Later, the original one? When that first came out, that changed at that time. A lot of people don't know this, especially if you're younger than we are. Zombie movies had become like stupid. Like zombies were not the scary of all the
They're all
monster.
slow.
Yeah.
They were the ones that we made fun of. Like of all the monsters, of all the scary stuff. Like zombies were like, don't use zombies. Nobody's scared of zombies.
Yeah.
That one came out when?
Oh boy, 2002.
Okay.
Wow, got a good rating.
So, oh yeah, bro. So before 28 Days Later, nobody made zombie movies because they were stupid. Nobody was scared of zombies. Then they come out with 28 Days Later and they changed the formula to where they are fast
They're
and
like
aggressive
psychotic.
and
Yeah.
psychotic. And it was brilliant. And I remember watching that and be like,
that was terrifying.
loved it. So then they had the second one was 28 months later, I think it was,
Okay.
if I'm not mistaken.
I don't know if I saw that one.
And then the third installment I just watched with my older kids, 28 years later.
Okay.
Really? I didn't even know there was a series. I didn't know there was more than one. I thought it was just one.
No. So the original, amazing. Second, it's okay. The third one, so my two older kids, my oldest she's about to turn 20, and then my daughter, she's 15. They're both like me in the sense that they like, stuff that like scary stuff. I loved it as a kid. So my daughter sends me a text. She's like, Papa, can we watch 28 Years Later? I'm like, yes, let's do this. Like nobody wants to watch this stuff with me. But Jessica will never watch that stuff with me.
Yeah.
I'm like, let's go. So yesterday I take them both. We sit down and we watch, and it was, bro, it was horrible. They went way too far with everything. Just too far.
Yeah.
It was just,
like the shock and awe kind of.
it was not good. And now what I'm predict is it's still going to turn into a cult classic because I could see how some people are going to like some of the weirdness in it and stuff and turn it into one of those.
Yeah.
Rotten Tomatoes gave it 88%.
Well, do you see it was shot completely on an iPhone?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, really?
Because it gives you that feel.
I think parts of it were, not the entire thing.
the first one has that vibe where it's kind of like
So it's kind of raw and it feels like you're there.
Yes. Yeah, that's
Kinda
the first one was like not a lot of special effects and
You know, like,
But they went too hard, bro. It was like the gore was excessive, and then there were parts of it that were just like why?
like I liked Walking Dead and all that, and then they lost me because it became just like, let's kill all the human beings and like slaughter human beings, the innocent people. I'm like, what the fuck am I watching? Yeah. And then like The Hills Have Eyes was the last real like scary movie I watched because it was just psychologically wrong for me to like put that in my brain.
That's Rob Zombie,
dude.
is it?
Whoever made that one needs to get their head examined.
No, Rob Zombie. I watched. What did I watch of his? I actually turned it off halfway through. So I was like, "This is too far."
His is like
Mutants, like raping people.
1,000 something.
Oh,
1,000
House of
corpses.
1,000 Corpses.
That's his.
It was just
Right?
like they were like murder rape scenes that were just like excessive.
To like, oh,
I think that's what it is. I think they just
Brutal.
keep pushing the shock and awe part, right? Pushing the
House of
boundaries.
1,000 Corpses. I think that was it.
oh yeah.
I like.
I watch parts of
I
that.
like scary movies.
Yeah,
that,
see, that's Rob Zombie.
Yeah, I like scary movies that are twisted. They make you think. They're kind of. There's got to be a
Still
good
has to have a
story.
storyline.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like it can't just be all like shock and awe and everything, like the worst like things you can visually see.
You know what the storyline was for 28 Days Later, right? It's a rage virus, and if you catch it, you become violent and you want to murder and kill people.
Oh
Yeah.
my God.
Okay, and you're fast. You're still fast and you're aggressive. So they're like not
Kind of like
zombies.
bath salts. Yeah.
But
Well, isn't that what made isn't that what made the
bath
Florida bath salt thing such a big deal? Was because that had already came out, and so people were acting like the 28
Yeah,
days.
some pranksters would be out there like acting all like there's all these videos.
well, there was some
scaring
truth to
everybody.
that. There was some truth to that.
Well, that's right. Yeah, I heard there was.
People would take what was it called? Flocka? Was that the name of it?
I think
one of them.
it's- one of
They
them
would
is
do
called
one of the
Flocka.
bath salts and enter psychosis, and one
This
guy
guy like jumped through a windshield.
one guy ate his friend's face. The cops had to pull him off. Yeah. Yeah, the cops had to pull him off. This was in Florida.
Yeah.
If I hope I'm correct. It was an urban legend.
I know, right? Yeah, I did hear a lot of stories. I don't know if I
Doug put
fact-checked it.
put Florida man eats his friend's face
Oh my
on
God.
bath salts.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I know there was psychosis for sure happening.
Eats his friend. See, there it is. I think that's it.
Head, flesh. Oh my God. There's all kinds
On
of
bath
things.
salts.
Because also too, wasn't it the artificial weed too was a big problem?
Yeah, dude.
Yeah,
Just
yeah.
trying to
People
get
were
around.
going crazy with that.
Oh yeah, see, Miami face eating attack.
Wow.
Why is it always Florida? By the way,
Yeah, there's some characters out
Wow.
I've seen some newly released videos. Do you guys remember? I think it was in Florida again. That mall in Florida where they're like, oh my God, these aliens or apparitions showed
yeah.
up.
there.
remember
Yo, dude, when that was like later in the like pandemic.
Yes.
And what happened? That just kind of went away.
I saw a recent video that came out that showed like someone had their phone and like okay, what was that movie? Is it Doctor Strange? Is that his name? Doctor Strange? I was gonna say Doctor Weird.
Dr. Weirdo.
That's another guy. You know how he does that thing with his hand and it makes like a portal?
Yeah.
It looks like a portal like that and then everybody's freaking
I'm
out.
so
and running.
glad we're talking about this stuff because I have a little bit of like knowledge to kind of drop here. So I've been watching, and this is kind of my genre. I'll watch like Skinwalker Ranch, or I'll watch Blind Frog Ranch, and like this is all on the History Channel, which I love.
Why?
That. I
Why
love
is
that it's like history. It's like it has nothing to do. It's old like paranormal crazy stuff. But so there's actually like this astrophysicist guy. He's legit like. I mean, in terms of like his pedigree, whatever, like they actually bring all these scientists. And there's this guy that owns the ranch now, Skinwalker Ranch, because of the phenomenon. He like bought it. He's like this billionaire, and he's in aerospace, I think. So they keep like buying all this crazy fancy equipment. And now they have LiDAR scanning abilities and like all of this like crazy stuff for like time lapse and like so they've been finding some crazy shit there, dude. They found like, and they keep shooting rockets up. And there's a spot up in the atmosphere where it literally will just stop and it just frozen and suspended.
The rocket?
The rocket. And then they've showed like, and they mapped it out and they started mapping out all these different like points of
This was on Skinwalker Ranch.
Skinwalker Ranch. This is the latest season. And oh my God, like I'm going crazy with it.
Did you know this was a show? Have you
No.
seen
It like, and they're trying to prove that it's this weird like energy magnetic sort of like force field thing that goes all the way up into like a couple miles up and then a mile below the Earth's surface as well. And it affects all of the electronics and all the equipment, and like fire gets extinguished and like all this stuff. It's weird, dude. And they actually found
It's over the ranch though.
over the ranch. And you guys remember the dire wolf thing?
Yeah.
Where they started to try and bring him back
Yeah,
and that
yeah.
company Colossus.
Yeah.
That's right.
So they sent this, like it was a bones of this they thought it was like a bear, but it was a wolf. And they sent it to get like tested, and turns out it had some genetic ties to somewhat of the characteristics of like a dire wolf. And they found it on that property. And so they're studying that right now. And I recommend it. And I know a lot of people think it's all bullshit. Go ahead. It's fun. But it's like they're actually, it's one of those shows where they're actually like finding things and you're like, wait a minute.
If there was a chart that tracked how many people started to believe this stuff, and you started it in 2019 to now, that's got to be a fast growing. It has to be so.
Yeah.
With all the stuff
There's been
that's
so
happened.
many sightings and UFO stuff, but it looks like, I don't know, man. It's like when you fly over it, things get affected. It's weird.
Could be the It's like the Bermuda Triangle. Justin, I want to ask you about the new PRX weight storage pegs.
Yeah,
Tell me about those.
I've been looking
ones?
at
Weight storage.
yeah. So
new
there's a
ones?
way you can actually like screw on these pegs to add extra storage in your rack.
Oh,
So
So
you
the
don't have
rack
to do it on
has-
the wall. You can actually do it like
On your
bolted
rack.
onto the sides of the rack.
That's awesome.
So you can actually add it there. So it would be a lot easier with that weight
Dude,
transfer.
PRX home gyms are the best.
Yeah.
That's like that is the best home gym you can have, unless you have so much space that you just put
yeah, but even
commercial
then,
equipment in there.
I still think that's crazy. I think it's the best across the board.
Well, the racks are the most stable racks I've ever used.
So that's
Period,
my
end of
point.
story.
Is like I've had friends that were building. Oh, they're talking about all these other brands, and it's like, dude, PRX. Even if you have the space and you don't
want to fold it
you
in
don't
the wall.
have to. The fact that you could makes it so, and it's as good or better.
Better.
And they have freestanding ones that still attach to the wall, so it's like you can fold it, but also it has the same structure and stability as any of the.
I love
freestanding
our
ones.
new one, the four.
full
What do you
cage.
call
Oh,
it?
it's
Full?
great.
Yeah, the 4-point or full cage one that folds all the way together and stuff like that. I mean, I think it's the way to. I remember before we started working with them, being hesitant because I thought, okay, it's going to be kind of like, it's all going to be about storage and not about the quality of the equipment, and that's where they'll sacrifice. And then when we got it, and I went, oh, this is like top of the line freaking equipment.
Yep.
And the fact that it's they seem to be constantly innovating too.
Yeah, and you can pay monthly, so people can.
I have
just,
to
like
keep
a
telling
membership fee.
people, they're partners of ours, because like this is always a common thing. I want to set up my home gym, and and I just don't think people know. It's like that's your best option, hands down.
Have you guys seen that video circulating of? Do you guys know what Brian Shaw is, the strongman?
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
Yeah.
They did a bone density test on him.
Oh yeah.
He has the bone density of one. It's so rare. I would love a bone density test, by the way. I've never done one before. I just want to see where I'm at.
Yeah.
His bone density was so rare, only 1 in 500 million people would have it. Obviously, because he's a freaking
huge giant.
And then it made me think of something like, I've wrestled with my kids. Sometimes I'll tease my wife, and I had this conversation, in fact, with my daughter. I've had it many times with her. She made a comment like, "Oh, if a man tries to do something, I'll just kick him in the balls, or I'll just this." And I tell her, "Honey, you run like a man. I don't care how badass you think you are. You can even have a knife on you, and a man is probably gonna have. You need to run.
Yeah, whatever you do is to open you up to free you to leave.
Get away. Like I'll joke with my wife. And my wife's strong, but I've played with her before. Where I just lay on her, like, all right, now let's pretend like I died or something. Can you get out from under me? And it's a struggle. And so the reason why I'm going this direction is there's always, especially with martial arts, the whole technique versus strength. I think sometimes people get misled to think that because technique makes a big difference, definitely.
Sure.
So the strength though, like if Brian Shaw
Plus controlled environments, like where you have rules, versus no rules. They're completely different things.
Like if Brian Shaw wanted to, if he was wrestling a 150-pound like top wrestler, that guy would have he would be able to smother him. He's just so big and strong,
especially with no rules.
No rules. Yeah, he'd be able to kill him.
Yeah. No, there's a reason why they have weight classes and all that stuff. There's a reason, because if it was even slightly interesting to not have weight classes, they wouldn't. And the weight classes are so close. That should tell you what a difference it makes. It's not like it's like, oh, you're either 150, 180, 300.
This
it's
is
like
the 150 to 200 class.
Yeah, they're like, is it 6 to 8 pounds or whatever?
152.
Did you see? Was it Sean Strickland? I think the UFC champion guy. He was. He had NFL linemen.
Oh, I saw that.
And they were like going to wrestle and just getting manhandled. It's like, come on, dude. That's like all they do all day long. They're just
he was trying to stop them is what they were doing. Yeah, they were like linemen and they were just driving them around.
Like, and I guarantee they were like 50% because they wanted to.
Oh yeah, they didn't even look like they were trying to get after him that hard. They were just kind of coming off the line.
No, man, so somebody wrote this, somebody said this, and I believe this. They said being big and strong is a martial art. And I agree. Now, I'm not saying it's as good as a martial art for defending yourself. If you want to really defend yourself, well, learn a martial art.
Yeah.
But if you get someone who's fit and strong and big, that's like they know a martial art.
Have you guys seen that? There's a viral clip from a podcast. I think it's Amanda Nunes, or it was one of the ex-female UFC champions. And she's telling a story, and they're talking about this is the conversation. They're really talking about weight class and men versus women and stuff like that. And she tells a story of like, I remember when I learned my lesson, and she was already a pro fighter at the time and working at like some restaurant or what like that, basically called the dude out behind the alley and to fight him, and they got into it. He was like a 6-foot dude. And she actually tells it like blow by blow, like she's like, and then I rushed him, came back, and he knocked me out, and then I got back up and knocked me over.
Wow.
Yeah, she talked about how bad she got pummeled, and the guy has no fighting experience whatsoever.
Why would you do that as a man? You have you're in a lose-lose.
It sounded,
she kicks your ass,
it sounded like
you beat her up.
It sounded like from the way she told the story that she kind of antagonized.
Still,
she was kind of bullying him a bit.
Yeah.
Still lose for a guy.
Yeah, I mean,
you're gonna win, you still lose.
You don't. I mean, that's a.
You're not going to tell anybody about it.
Hey, I beat up that girl. What do you mean? Oh, she's a pro fighter though. Your buddies are still gonna razz you.
No, you're right.
At best,
tough guy. Huh?
I know you've heard you are what you eat, but it's actually you are what you digest. Look, if you eat a high protein diet, sometimes you're not digesting it well. You got to use digestive enzymes, masszymes. They're the best for fitness people. Take masszymes with your meals, break down your carbohydrates, your fats, your protein for better digestion, and get those amino acids, those fatty acids, and that glycogen to your body to fuel your workouts, help you build muscle, and burn body fat. Go to masszymes.com. That's masszymes.com/mind pump. Use the code MindPump10, get 10% off. Here comes the show.
Our first caller is Colton from Ohio.
What's up, Colton?
What up, Colton?
Hey, how you guys doing?
Good.
We're okay, man. How can we help you?
I just want to start out by saying I've been watching you guys for about 5 years, and I love the content and I love the information you guys put out. My question is lately, for the past 8 years, I've been training in kind of a bodybuilding style approach. I got 2 kids, and I was just doing some light hack squats about a month ago, and I don't know how, but I got hurt. So I've been kind of pampering that, and I've noticed since I've started training in a bodybuilding style of training, I'm starting to notice my body getting a little stiff. I'm not able to move like I used to. So I was wondering if I was to switch my training over to a functional bodybuilding style approach, how would I go about that with trying to maintain as much muscle mass as I can that I've built over the last 8 years?
Yeah, good question.
It's a mass performance.
Have you been, so you've been really focused on bodybuilding style training for the last 8 years?
Yeah.
Okay. You got to understand that the tightness and the mobility issues that come from that style of training is not the style of training, but rather the lack of exercises that strengthen you in the different planes of motion. For example, lateral movements are typically devoid in bodybuilding training. You typically don't see a lot of rotation involvement. It's slow and controlled, which is fine, but you also don't get some dynamic movement. And so what happens is you get really strong in the areas that you're training, and the discrepancy between that and the other ways that your body can move becomes so large that your body, your central nervous system, begins to limit your movement, okay, because it senses instability, okay? So it's like a dragster. A dragster has very poor lateral stability, And if you wanted to take a turn, you'd have to really strengthen it laterally and probably reduce some of its power, because the power going straight is so outmatches its ability to stabilize, right? So where am I going with this? If you've been hyper focused on hypertrophy for 8 years and now you're going to focus on mobility, you might lose a little bit of muscle. It just might happen. Is it 100% guaranteed that that'll happen? No, but you might, because your focus is going to move to something else. But I will say this: in the long run, you'll have a better physique.
Yes,
because
what you lose, you'll gain it, tenfold.
I don't think you would though, Colton. And the reason why is it'd be different if you were 8 years and you were Ronnie Coleman-esque, right? Like that much of a bodybuilder, you've put on that much muscle, and then you switch completely over to this kind of functional mobility. I think you'll not only maintain, I think there's a chance that you might see increase, because you start to increase your capabilities, you introduce movements you haven't done. I think you're going to reap the benefits of that and be just as muscular, but also now more functional because you're doing that. And somebody who's been listening for as long as you've been listening, that you're a great example of somebody who I love to take you through a program like, let's say, MAPS Performance, with running it just exactly how it is. And then you take from that what you learn, that, oh, wow, when I do these movements, it really serves my body. And so even though I love training like a bodybuilder, I make sure I incorporate, which is this speaks a lot to myself personally, is that I recognize I tend to train like a bodybuilder. That's my default. And if I do that, I do tend to get injured because I neglect rotational movements. I neglect some unilateral stuff. But I also have found that, if I make sure I incorporate a few of those things like from MAPS Performance within my bodybuilding type routine, it's enough to give me everything that I want. And so that would be my advice, is to go there. But I don't think you're going to lose. Do you really think you don't think he's going to lose muscle?
Well, here's the two.
I know you should. I know what you're telling him, that he should make peace with that.
That's
so
right.
He's bought in.
Because here's what's going to happen if you don't: is you may perceive it, maybe you're not as pumped, or I don't know, and then you're going to back out. But here's where I'm going with this, right? So where I'm going with this is, at the end result is a more muscular physique, because what's starting to happen is you're starting to get limited. Your muscle building potential is becoming limited by your lack of mobility now. Okay. So even if you did take a couple steps back with hypertrophy, which it wouldn't be a lot, it's not you're going to lose 15 pounds of muscle. You might lose a little bit that only you can tell. I don't think anybody else will notice. Your wife will probably say, I don't see a difference, or anybody else would. You might feel a little bit, like maybe your biceps don't feel as full or whatever. But the end result will be more muscle later, because right now you're hitting a wall and you're limited by your mobility. MAPS Performance is great. If you want something that's different and you like to challenge yourself, old time strength would be great as well. Performance is more of a traditional athletic style of training. Old time is like, this is the way strong men would train, in the Bronze era, late 1800s, early 1900s. MAPS Strong would even give you more functional ability. So, which one do you think you'll have more fun doing? Like, what are you more into? Are you more into like the athletic style of training? Do you think training like a strong man from 1890 would be more fun for you?
I think it would be more the performance route. Because I've been kind of watching a lot of like High Rocks training.
Oh, perfect.
Along that route. And the only challenge I've been running into is the gym that I go to. It's not the best gym. It's Planet Fitness. They don't have the best equipment. So I'm kind of having trouble with some of the programs that I have looked at. And that's why I'm kind of shocked that I got on your guys' show, because I wanted to ask you which one I should go with you guys. Because there's no alternatives with most other programs of, if you don't have this equipment, then you can also use this. It's just this, you can only do this machine, and that's it. So it's like, I've been kind of struggling to.
He should be able to do almost everything in performance in Planet Fitness.
Well, there's landmine exercise. Do they have landmine equipment there?
No.
And no cages.
We just got hack squats and the bench press machine.
I think you'd probably be better off than you could do everything in old time because they at least have barbells.
Yeah, it's just barbell and dumbbells.
You'd be able to do everything in old time. Performance, there's going to be a lot of extra. You can replace them.
Yeah.
But part of what makes performance is some of the movements are free based. So I think if you're going to stay at Planet Fitness,
I'm surprised they don't have a landmine attachment there.
Because I mean, there's kettlebell, but you could replace kettlebell easy with dumbbells, and that's basically it. And it's most of it would be in the latter phases when we're talking about endurance, because the first 2 phases, it's going to be pretty much barbell, setup, bench, and squat rack with some dumbbell inclusion. So nothing too crazy. 2, with the landmine, you can always place it. I know this is kind of janky sometimes.
Yeah, you might get a Planet Fitness for that.
Yeah, just put it. Yeah, shove it up against the corner. I do that all the time, but yeah,
when you go to
gyms
Planet
don't like it.
Yeah, they'll probably throw.
I'll get the lunk alarm.
I'm just surprised that they don't have that. Do they have
don't have
kettlebells?
squat
Do they have kettlebells there? No kettlebells.
Yeah, they have kettlebells. I think I think it's 50 pounds.
So literally, it's only the landmine we
could
have
do
to
it,
replace. You could use some cable movements instead.
Yeah.
Sure.
All right, we'll send you performance and then try to modify the exercise.
Hit me up too, and I could always give you some options with that.
Yeah, you should be able to do 95% of it. Anything you run into that you don't know, reach out to one of us or our team, and then we'll. Colton, are you in the private forum yet?
No, not yet.
All right, I'll have Doug put you in there. So I'm gonna have Doug put you in the private forum. Anything you run into performance-wise, you have a question that you can't do it there, just message us on there, and then we'll help you out.
Swap out whatever exercise you need.
Okay. I really appreciate it, guys.
Yeah,
got it.
for sure.
Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you. Thanks for putting the content out that you guys put out. I love it.
We appreciate the support, man.
You know what's crazy to me about, there's a lot of things about Planet Fitness that are crazy to me. But it's crazy to me that they refuse to put like squat racks in there. I know why. I know what they're
because of the Smith. Yeah, it's just Smith machine.
But I'm going to say
it's also part of this. It's like you've already dug your heels in.
Yeah.
To be like to try and differentiate yourself.
Here's what's crazy to me about this, Adam, is it promotes the idea.
I know
that cages are only for the meathead stereotype. The cages are valuable.
Yeah, but
for old people, they're valuable for beginners. Yeah. It's one of the most valuable.
The most brilliant thing that Planet Fitness has done, and it's
from a business perspective.
Yes, is they knew what customers would pay a low bill and probably never show up, and that's who they're trying to attract. You're trying to attract other people. You're trying to attract other people that want to get better,
use the gym,
that want to use the gym, that want to get good. They're in the business, and they know some guys like Colton who are serious. They're going to get a few of those guys, but that's not their customer. Exactly, their customer is somebody who goes, wait. For only $9 and I get pizza twice a month, that already cancels out the fee. Like I'm basically getting a free membership as long as I show up for pizza twice a month.
The truth is, it's not that, I'll say this, I know you'll agree. It's not that we're trying to attract people that want results. We're trying to get people results.
Yeah.
So, and what they're doing is they're promoting this idea that is detrimental to people's health. And this is the fact. I was in meetings, by the way. I was in meetings with a large fitness company. One of the reasons why I left is I saw the writing on the wall, and I remember them saying this. I remember them saying, these are the members we lose money on. And they literally talked about the members that worked out the most.
Yeah.
And I remember thinking, this business model is backwards.
Yeah.
Those are the people we should value the most,
highlight,
not the ones we should look at as money loss.
Our next caller is Chris from Wisconsin.
What's up, man?
How you doing, Chris?
What's happening?
How's it going, fellas? How are you today?
We're good, dude. How can we help you?
All right. So first, want to start off with the obligatory thank you. I'm 34. I live in Wisconsin. I have 3 boys, 5, 3, and 1, and actually another kid on the way in February. So
good man.
Yeah.
Statistics are saying that it's going to be another boy. So please pray for me.
Is that true? Is that what the stats say? If you have 3, you're more likely to have another boy?
That's what our OB said. So
wow.
You got an army.
That's bro. You almost got You almost got a basketball team.
Do you at least have a female dog or something for her?
No dogs. I say I have 3 puppies, so I don't need another animal. But I've been a listener since 2017. I found you guys at a time when I was coaching high school powerlifting and lifting in the morning with my kids, and then CrossFitting after work. I was overtraining and
just a little.
Yeah, just a little. So listening to you guys, I'm listening to the people that were calling in. It was hilarious because I'm like, you'd listen to them, be like, oh, they're definitely overtraining. And then literally I'm sitting there being like, oh, my back hurts, my legs hurt. It's like, yeah, of course, that's me. So I just want to thank you guys for all the advice that you give. I've enjoyed kind of the growth that I've seen throughout the podcast for you guys through the 8 years, as well as just kind of going along fatherhood with me. So appreciate that. And then also just sharing your faith. It's awesome that you guys have been speaking up more in a time than when we really need it. So thank you.
Appreciate it.
Right on.
All right. So my question is, I've been struggling over the last year and a half with continuously pulling and straining my calf muscles. So I noticed this starts to occur when I'm training my calves more, I'm going heavier, and then I go to do something explosive, like go to play racquetball or even just chase after my kids. And I just tweak it, and it's like right underneath the calf muscle, right above the Achilles. So over the last month, I've tweaked my right calf, then my left, then my right, and now literally last week, right before I shot off the email, I tweaked my right one again. So I was just super annoyed. I'm at the point of not wanting to train my calves anymore. I'm afraid to do anything super explosive, knowing that I have good chances of tweaking one of my legs again. So I have a month-long challenge coming up in September for the Great Cycle Challenge. It's a 500-mile, or I chose 500 miles, but it's for childhood cancer research. So it's on a bike. I do it throughout the month, and I'm just scared that if I keep doing this to my calf muscles, I'm not going to be able to get on my bike and ride. Shout out to Queen there. But I've been trying to do more mobility with my ankles, my hips from guys like Vernon Griffith, MAPS Performance, the mobility there, and then your YouTube videos. I know there's a video of Sal, a little bit darker hair in that video, but it seems to help some. But I go back to square one as soon as I re-injure one. It's deflating. So with that, I recently finished MAP Symmetry back in like mid-May before starting to get out on the bike more, and it has felt awesome. Can definitely tell that my legs have been more even. I've been great on the climbs. It's been going awesome. So I'm really looking forward to how September is going to go. And I'm actually going to rerun Symmetry just for a little less volume while I start to put on more miles. But what can I do about my calf muscles? Like, I'm sick of doing this, and I'm kind of at my wit's end with it.
Yeah, good question.
Yeah.
You could do what Adam and I do. Just don't train your calves anymore.
Don't train them.
Overrated, bro.
Yeah.
Overrated.
No, you know, okay, so
Wear tall socks.
yeah. No, all right. So, okay, whenever you see cramping, the most common offenders is, electrolyte imbalance, right? In an athlete like you or someone like you, well-trained, sodium would be the first thing. Magnesium's another one. Magnesium is oftentimes something that people lack, especially people who train. I don't know if you supplement. Do you supplement with magnesium?
I do. Yeah. I
Okay.
typically take that and zinc at night.
Okay. And what is it, ZMA?
No, it's just like the like little dropper full. So I forget what it's called. It's but it's not ZMA. It's actually magnesium and then zinc.
Got it.
Kind of like separately.
Okay, so make sure you're taking enough. Make sure it's the kind that gets absorbed well, like glycinate. It's a good
Yeah,
type.
it's the glycinate.
It's okay. That's okay. Good. And then here's the other thing. Okay, is instability tends to cause muscle cramps or tightness. Okay, especially in somebody who's strong. So when you're strong, and by the way, the muscle that you're pulling is your soleus. If you're talking about below the calf, it's the soleus muscle. So it could be instability, and what this might come from is an imbalance between your gastroc, your soleus, and your tibialis, and some of the muscles that laterally strengthen your ankle. When's the last time you did tibialis raises?
Tibialis raises, yep.
Long time.
Yeah.
To be honest, though.
Yeah. So you might want to lay off the calf training a little bit and do tibialis raises. And if you do calf training, do the seated kind, get that soleus to kind of work. But start strengthening the tibialis muscle on the shin and some of the lateral muscles, which I can't. For some reason I can't recall them.
Peroneal?
Peroneals of the ankle, and see if that makes a difference. Because what that tells me right now, unless it's again needing more magnesium, more sodium, which could be the case, but typically it's like there's an instability there.
I think it's one of two things or both things, which is it's almost always there's some sort of weakness or instability that causes an injury, which would mean we need to be more stable and stronger within the ankles to the points that Sal's making. And then the other thing is potentially overtraining still. So, and coming from a guy who admitted that he was already that guy who wasn't, was like, no, I'm fine. I'm not overtraining. I mean, 3 boys, sounds like you do a lot of challenging things that are intense and long, and you're probably the guy who doesn't miss a lot of workouts. And so, and what you might have felt from symmetry was, I mean, the unilateral stuff was probably good for you, but maybe what you really felt was a reduction in volume or intensity or both. And that's part of why you feel so good. And maybe that is your body trying to tell you a lower dose of volume is more appropriate for you. Even though it's not maybe what you want to hear. But for sure, it's one or the other or both. Like, in my opinion, it's either 100% we need to put more emphasis on instability and weakness in the ankle, doing all the things that Sal and Justin were just saying, or also we still are probably doing too much, and that's why our body's getting injured.
Yeah. So here's what the prescription would look like. You would add some exercises, but you'd also take some away. You're not just going to throw extra volume at yourself, but it would look like this. It would look like, tibialis raises, lateral exercise strengthening, and then you would use a lacrosse ball on a regular basis to press on the soleus and gastrocs at night. And what that does is it just tells the CNS to chill a little bit. So every night, before you get injured, and maybe every morning or whatever, you roll them out and you get something in there that kind of presses on them, while simultaneously strengthening all the other muscles of the ankle.
Chris, break down. Sorry, Justin. Before you even answer him, I just would like to. Could you break down like a typical, not a week when you're recovering from an injury, but like a normal week? Because I know you got racquetball up there. You're riding a bike. You're strength training. Tell me like what you would consider a typical week of training for you.
Yeah. So prior to biking, it was MAPS Symmetry 3 days a week, racquetball on Tuesdays, and then core training on Thursdays. And then Saturday would be like just run around, hang out with the kids, and Sunday kind of rest. Now it's Monday and Wednesday weight training. I went back to anabolic. So I have the RGB bundle plus Symmetry. But I went back to anabolic, but I've been going a little bit lighter in terms of like squatting and deadlifting, stuff like that. So that's Monday, Wednesday. Tuesday is racquetball. Thursday is still core training, and then Friday, Saturday is out on the bike.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think what you're feeling is you're getting closer to a more appropriate amount of volume and intensity that your body should be handling. I think that's what's happening is, even though you're not all the way, depending on how much great sleep you get with 3 boys, in relation to that amount of training, could be tipping you over sometimes. Yeah. Paired with the weakness in the ankles.
Yeah, tibialis raises and then, ankle mobility. But I think too, if you replace a lot of the leg volume with more lateral movements in terms of like Cossack squats, lateral lunges, lateral sled drags, like, you just do a phase completely of just focusing more heavily on lateral movement and strength. I think, you're going to build up that support system again. So, and plus you're going to give a break, to Adam's point of allowing that to actually recover fully, while also strengthening a lot of, the support system.
I love that advice.
Yep.
So would that be, so if I'm focus more on the lateral stuff, so let's say I'm going to run Symmetry again, would I just get rid of like the Bulgarian split squats and do like
you
lateral?
Could trade that out. Exactly.
Yep.
Okay. And Symmetry good to run again, or like MAPS 15, or like
Symmetry?
Symmetry's great.
There?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I like Symmetry. If you don't have MAPS 15 though, I would love to give it to you.
15 Performance would have all that.
I would love to give you MAPS 15 Performance, and at some point I think you should do it just to see, because I think that
you got a baby coming. That'll be perfect.
It'll be perfect when the baby comes.
February.
So when the baby comes, I definitely think by then you should run 15 at least for a full cycle, because you might get some insight on what, and like us, I think we've shared this on the show. You're 34. You've probably been training for a long time. You'd be surprised at what great of results you can still get with that low of volume. And that might be something you need, is that enlightenment. Like, holy shit. Like, I used to be the guy who did CrossFit, did all these things and trained. Here I am, MAPS 15, and I'm feeling the healthiest I've ever felt before. So definitely worth going that route. But what Justin's saying, I think, is the go-to move right now is, switch out Bulgarians or any major leg thing for doing more stuff that is going to support the ankles.
Awesome. Yeah. And I know just from doing Symmetry, like it sucks because like being the old power lifter, it's like, I want to throw up weight. I want to be able to have like stuff on my back. But at the same time, it's like, as much as I think it's like a mind fuck that like I'm doing single leg stuff and struggling. It's like, okay, I know I need to do this, but this was a little bit of some medicine that I need to take in order to be able to do like more lateral stuff as well and just kind of calm it down. So I appreciate it.
Yeah, you got it, man.
Right
Well, Doug's going to send that over to you, man.
I apprechate you guys. Thank you so much.
All right, guys.
Have a great rest of your day.
Thank you. Yeah, you know, the other thing too is you can get really strong with controlled movements. Then when you ask for that strength to be fast, you start to develop problems.
Well, that was what made me. I didn't realize because he didn't say anything about racquetball, and I read it up there, and I went, "Oh, dude!" And this dude's doing racquetball. I'm like, you're training kind of like a bodybuilder, getting really strong in the same planes, and then all of a sudden on 2 days of the week you decide you're going to go with your buddy, and that's a serious lateral moving type of sport, right?
Yeah, it's all velocity, and it's like you don't maybe have that like deceleration ability and the strength stability there. So
that's how I pulled my hamstring. I went to sprint, and my hamstrings are strong as hell. I could pull 600 pounds off the floor.
Yeah.
But when I went to go fast, pop, I felt
totally
that
different thing.
Our next caller is Mike from North Carolina.
Mike, what's happening?
You do, Mike?
What's up?
Hello, how are you guys?
Good.
Good, man.
What you got for us?
We help you.
So overall, I feel like my efforts just don't match my results. I think that for my lifestyle, my level of consistency, how long I've been training, that I should be a lot further ahead, a lot leaner, stronger than I actually am. I've only been really paying attention to my diet the last 3 or 4 years, and I've made a lot of progress doing so. But I've also developed a bit of over obsession with tracking or orthorexia. But I also feel that when I'm not tracking, that I just take major steps back. So kind of spinning my wheels, not really sure where I'm going right, where I'm going wrong. I just feel like I have to be hyper on point with everything I do, diet, training, lifestyle, just to even maintain. So really just looking for any kind of guidance of starting to see results that I think that would match my lifestyle and level of commitment.
Mike, when you fall off the tracking and you go the other direction that you're now aware of, how like you lose your gains or whatever with that, what are your big offenders? Are you like I know for me, I grossly undereat protein when I'm not tracking and paying attention to, and I know how detrimental that is to me. Are you like somebody who overeats a bunch of calories, or are you somebody who you miss protein, or are you the person who does both? You miss protein, and in addition to that, you eat a bunch of extra calories?
No, I never miss protein. If anything, it might be a slight calorie surplus and more fat. I really don't have cravings of anything. If anything, it would really be like peanut butter and just more of what I already eat. So it's never like, binging on ice cream, anything like that. It's just, I'm still hungry. I'm going to have more chicken. I'm going to have more fruit. I just go over in that direction.
That's not a bad.
Okay, I'm going to read some of your question that you sent us. Is that okay?
Yeah, go for it.
Because it's going to help me with my answer. It says, I'm pretty hard on myself, and it's partially comparison syndrome, but I drift away from my normal meals and macros for even one day. I get noticeably softer almost instantly and will take a week to get back to normal. You need to relax. Yeah, you need to relax, Mike. Oh, this is in your head. Yeah. And you're 100%. I think you know that too. Yeah. I think you know that it's hyper focus, and your subjective opinion is not objective. In fact, I bet, we don't have a picture of you, but I bet most people would say you look like you work out a lot and you look really fit and you're pretty lean. Is that what your friends tell you?
Other people would say that. Yeah. I wouldn't say that about myself, though.
I don't care what you say about you because you're wrong.
Yeah, you're distorted.
So we need to get you out of that right now, because what's happened right now, and I'm speaking from personal experience, is you have a filter on that's lying to you. So you're looking at yourself through a filter that is totally distorted.
You have reverse beer goggles.
And it's totally messing you up. It's really messing you up right now. I mean, I know this because a couple things you said in your email, but also in the question you said, I've only really been looking at my diet for 3 to 4 years or taking it seriously. That's a long time, dude. 3 to 4 years is a lot of success when it comes to consistency. I mean, if you said 3 or 4 months, I'd be like, that's not bad. 3 to 4 years, you're crushing it. You're doing great. So what you need to do is take your eyes off of the mirror, the scale, and judging yourself, but we need to put them somewhere else because that's not going to work. In other words, I can't tell you to not do something. I got to tell you to do something else. So what I'm going to tell you to do is focus on performance and stop looking in the mirror. You focus on strength, don't look in the mirror. Focus on mobility, don't look in the mirror. And you'll be surprised at what happens.
Let's dive a little bit into what your programming looks like. Are you following any MAPS programs, or you've been kind of throwing your own thing together?
I'm not, mostly because I've been kind of in the air of which one would be most appropriate for me.
Yeah.
I've been following for the majority of the last couple of years, full body 3 to 4 days a week.
Okay. That's
not bad.
That's pretty solid, so long as it's appropriate as far as the amount of volume and stuff you're doing.
Would you be interested in following like a powerlifting program for a while, just to focus on strength?
Absolutely. Powerlifting is a pretty big focus of mine. I compete a couple times a year.
Oh, bro.
Shit.
Oh,
So it absolutely interests me.
Yeah.
I just have to get that balance of, my physique and versus my performance too. So that's something I'm constantly going back and forth with, where do I want to put 20 pounds in my deadlift or lean out and that kind of
so
struggle.
you compete. What are your lifts?
Give me some number. I want to hear the numbers, and then also I want to hear your powerlifting numbers just to kind of get a gauge of where you're at strength wise. And then 2, have you even tested your body fat percentage? And if so, where is that?
The last meet I totaled just over 1,000 pounds.
Okay.
And my body fat, if I had to guess, I'm probably in that 13 to 15% range.
You're doing great, bro.
You're good, dog.
You're doing good, man.
Yeah. So there's another layer to this, right? I agree with everything we've said so far, but to get into single digit body fat, which is it sounding like you want to look like or whatever, there is another level of sacrifice and discipline.
Yeah.
And I think the thing that Instagram people do is they normalize or downplay the sacrifice it takes to walk around like that all the time.
I'll say it differently. They normalize the dysfunction that's required to get to single digit.
Nice.
There's a level of dysfunction in the context of a normal life or a normal healthy life that's required as a man, especially if you're natural, to get into single digit body fat.
Consistently stay there forever. It's easy to do it for a small period of time and say, look, I did it. I didn't cheat on my diet for 3 months straight. Look at me. I did it. But to say, I'm going to maintain this single digit body fat. And of course, there's somebody listening who's like, oh, that's not true. I enjoy this. There's anomalies. There's genetic freaks of people that just naturally carry their, but that's not most of us.
No, that's not 99%.
Most of us that lift weights hover around probably 12 to 15% body fat.
With a good diet.
Yeah, with a good diet. Not crazy, not like weighing, tracking everything, but that's where I fall. I fall between 12 and 15% when I'm eating my protein, training occasionally, doing my thing. It takes another level of sacrifice to say, I'm going to walk around in single digits. It just does.
You know what I'm going to do, Mike? Here's what I'm going to do for you. I'm going to have somebody call you, and I'm going to have somebody work with you to get down to single digit body fat, just so you can see how less happy you are at that. No, honest to God, you're going to get there and you'll be like, this is not what I thought it was.
Or maybe you're going to be like, it's awesome. You walk around with your shirt off all the time.
It's not. You talk to anybody who's done it and then have them look back and be like, it wasn't worth it. It really wasn't that big of a deal. But I'll have somebody call you, because it shows here that you're in a coaching group. And it says here that it lacks the one-on-one that you're looking for. Is that correct?
I was, yeah.
Okay. All right. I'm going to have someone call you, and the goal is going to be, let's get you to single digit. And then I want you to get to single digit so that you can have a little bit of a point of reference. But I'm going to tell you something right now. The solution is going to come from the filter that you have when you're viewing yourself. And I get it, man. This is a struggle for me. I'm older than you are. I've been doing this longer than you, and this is still a struggle for me. So I get it, but this is why I can speak to it. Because the other end of this isn't what you're looking for. The other end of it is just more. Oh, there's more that I want, and I'm not happy enough, and it turns into a lot of bad things. So, but I'll have somebody work with you, so at least I know the person working with you is going to do it healthy.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
You got it.
All right, Mike.
You got it, Mike. And then from there, we can decide what program and all that stuff.
Yeah, they'll tell you which one.
Gotcha.
All right, brother.
Sounds like a plan. Thanks, guys.
You got it, man.
Right on.
Yeah, he had to read reading his email.
Yeah.
If somebody says, I miss one day and I instantly
Feels soft.
look different.
Yeah, no.
No.
Yeah.
No.
By the way, I know what that feels like.
Yeah.
I don't want people to watch this and think I'm like judging from this like high period, like high. I know what that feels like.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
I know exactly what that feels like.
It's an everyday occurrence.
We talk about it all the time.
Yeah.
I mean, how obsessed we were with not missing a meal every 3 hours, because I could swear to you
Muscle just
that
fell off.
muscle fell off my body if I took a day or two off of it. Like 100% felt that way.
Marketing's so effective in that direction.
No, it is. No,
It's a
your pain
tough.
point.
Listen, it is a tough place to be in because, and I love the word dysfunction because we all know this. We've all had this experience where we've had a friend, somebody close to us, who's in a dysfunctional relationship and they can't see it until they get out. They just can't see it. And you try to tell them, like, listen, that is not normal. It is not normal that your girlfriend's like that, your boyfriend's like that, your husband or wife. Like, that's dysfunctional.
If they hear it, just doesn't resonate.
They don't see it until they get out of it long enough to go, oh no, that was dysfunctional. Things should be different. And it's hard when you're in it, man. It's so hard. But coming out of it is a gift.
Yeah, as an exercise, Mike, when you listen to this, when you go back and listen to this, I think it would be worth unfollowing all the, fitness influencer dudes.
Yeah. Anybody you compare yourself to.
that post shirtless pictures all the time. That's just not good. It's just not like, it completely distorts reality.
Totally.
If you
That's
open
not
up,
even reality for them.
yeah, exactly. If you open up Instagram and you see 20 6% body fat dudes, every
Dripped
day.
pictures.
You're like, that's what
from
everybody
one-
looks like.
Yeah, that's what
Why
everybody
don't I
looks
look
like.
that?
And I've been training for 15 years like him. Why don't I look like that? And it's like, no, dude, like get out of that. Stop that for a while. That alone will probably start to help us move in the right direction.
Our next caller is Andrew from Florida.
What's up, man?
Andrew?
How can we help you?
Hey, so earlier this year, I ran, I just finished running MAPS Anabolic. And I got to the point at the end of phase 3 where I wasn't seeing any strength gains, and I was actually seeing like my lifts decrease pretty significantly. And just like fatigue was onsetting pretty heavily. And I'm kind of just trying to figure out what exactly I did wrong with it. Because I didn't add any like additional cardio. I didn't add any additional like volume to it or anything. It just seems like everything sort of tapered off. And then just to preface it, I did do a reverse diet from about 1900 calories to now I'm looking at 28, but it seems like I've added body fat instead of actually adding muscle to it. And so that's kind of why I'm getting confused as to what happened there.
Yeah, you got it. All right. So typically, here's the order of issues or challenges that we can look at as to why somebody's not getting results with a good program or what would be considered generally a good program. Okay. And it goes like this. It's either diet or sleep lifestyle, the program itself, and then maybe hormone issues, which is typically last. Okay. Now, I'm going to start with the programming. As good as MAPS Anabolic is, it's not perfect for everybody. That's just a fact. Like there's no general program that we can create that's going to be great for everybody. It's impossible. This is why personal trainers are so valuable, is they could individualize programming to the individual. And there's such a wide variance that it's shocking how different people can be with how they respond to even really good programming. Diet-wise, it sounds like you did okay by bumping your calories, although the bump might be a little too fast if you gained body fat. Did your weight change on the scale?
So for the first, about through phase 1 and phase 2, it was, it stayed relatively the same with about 0.2 pounds being gained every week. I added about 50 to 100 calories each week. And then towards the end, that's when it really started to increase, when I hit about that 26 to 2,800 mark. And I just wanted to see it through. I was like, all right, let's just see what happens here.
Well, there's the before and
Bro,
after.
Andrew, you're doing pretty good, bro.
Yeah. Well, that's the before, that's the after. Okay, so look, now when you say
he's got him flip-flopped.
Yeah.
Okay,
when you say you got weaker, are you comparing the weight in phase 3 to the weight in phase 1? You're not doing that, right? Because that's low reps.
No. So
okay.
I know that I dropped the weight for phase 3 because the volume increased.
Yeah.
But so afterwards, I was like, all right, So like I was feeling pretty tired at the end of phase 3, where I was like, I'm extremely tired. Like I still lifted, but it was definitely, I could feel it, and I was like, my body does not want to do this.
Yeah.
And then, so then I took a week where I just did active recovery. Like after I finished it up, I just took that week, did some like lighter lifts, just to like maintain everything. and then went back and I was like, okay, I'm going to test everything and see kind of where the numbers are. And my bench had decreased like significantly.
Yeah.
Because at the end of phase 1, I think it was like 175.
That's gonna happen. When you did you get stronger in phase 1?
In phase 1, yeah, it seemed like I was getting a lot stronger.
And in phase 2, how did you feel?
That was more consistent, but you could see like through the tracking that the weight had started to sort of taper downward.
That's supposed to happen. So so if you go from phase 3 back to phase 1 after a couple weeks of phase 1, then you'll see a strength jump.
Yeah,
quite a bit.
I was going to say I would love to see you run it again with the calories where they're at now.
Right.
So I think you needed more calories in the first place. So you did the right thing, reverse dieting. I'd like to see what what phase 1 would be like.
And I'd like to see you cut phase 3 to 1 week. So phase 3, the supersets and the high reps can be very taxing for some people. I'm one of those people.
Mm-hmm.
Phase 3 for me kills me to the point where I cut it short, either by sets or by length. But if you felt great in phase 1 and phase 2, I would go 1 week of phase 3 and that's it. And you can even lengthen phase 1 and 2 by a week. And keep it at that. Yeah. Phase 3 is, for people who aren't familiar with anabolic, is high reps and supersets.
It's a monster, yeah.
Yeah, you look like someone who's pretty detailed. I'd love for you to go through this again and then tell us your experience from that.
Yeah. And then,
with the higher calories.
And then how are other things like sleep and lifestyle?
So sleep-wise, I'm pretty good. And then, I mean, admittedly, I don't have a super stressful lifestyle at the moment. But I mean, so I think everything is good. That's why it was very confusing for me. So
okay.
I feel like I'm pretty dialed with everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You look like it.
Yeah. Phase 3 could be a monster for some people, especially if at the end of it, you don't notice more stamina and you started to feel fatigued at the end.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. So I would go back through, go 1, 2, lengthen each phase by 1 week.
Keep calories up.
And keep the calories up. I don't bump them up anymore. Just kind of keep them where they're at. And then phase 3, do a week and see how everything feels.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Andrew, are you in our private forum yet?
I'm not.
Okay, I'm gonna have Doug put you in there too because you're a great person. I'd love to talk to as you go through this.
Yep.
So I'd love to hear your response as you get through each phase. So if you could just message us and keep us posted.
And progress photos after each phase would be cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
To notice. And so here's what happens to me because and this is just maybe because of my years of training or because of my genetics, I'm not quite sure. But I respond really well to low reps. High reps is really tough for me. Mm-hmm. Really, really difficult.
You typically just use it to interrupt
I use it to interrupt and to give me some stamina. And what I'll notice between the first week and second week is I get really good pumps, but then they fade and it starts to get fatigued. And I got to back out. And that's just how my body, especially lower body. And I've gone through long phases of high reps and stamina for my lower body. And it's just brutal on me. But the fast twitch stuff I tend to do really well with. So like I said, go 4 instead of 3 weeks of 1 and 2, go 4 weeks phase 1, 4 weeks phase 2, 1 week of phase 3. That'll give you about the same total time, and then do some progress photos and let's see what happens.
Yeah.
Do you think running like a powerlifting would be beneficial then if you're saying cut volume down pretty heavily?
Powerlift has got a decent amount of volume, and you'd be surprised because powerlift starts with high reps. Now it's not supersets, but it starts at high reps and it peaks you at the end with the low reps. And that's another great. That's a great program.
Let's run anabolic again the way we're saying because we're trying to figure out a variable right now. Because instead of like changing too many variables, let's keep the calories up. Let's run MAPS Anabolic the way Sal's saying, and then just stay in touch with us. And then depending on that, because I do think powerlift would be a great program for you too.
Did you notice changes in libido and stuff like that? How old are you?
I'm 31.
Okay.
So when I cut down to the 1900 calories, and I reached a certain level of body fat percentage, that was when I noticed that testosterone, I think, had just completely tanked and nothing was working anymore. And I was like, oh, great. And that was when I decided I was going to reverse diet back out of it.
Okay, good. All right, good. Let's do what we say, and I want to follow up with you. In fact, why don't we have you back on the show at the end of this and see if we can't figure this out?
Okay.
All right.
Awesome.
Thanks, man.
All right, Andrew.
Thank you.
You got it. You know what's cool about this is, and trainers know this, that this is not the norm, but I know people that you keep their reps around 15, and they they build muscle and they get amazing results. I know people that you keep their reps around 4 and they build muscle and they're amazing. And you flip them and they just, you have to flip them at some point because you don't want to stay the same all the time. But when you flip them, it's almost like, oh, okay, I'm going backwards.
Well, this is where we become creatures of habit.
Yeah.
Because you do kind of figure out
you fall in love with
what
it.
works.
Yep.
You fall in love and you don't want to venture out of that.
Yep.
But yeah, so he might just need to, limit that amount of exposure.
Yeah, right. All right. I know you liked that episode. If you did, check this one out. Stop doing 3 sets of 12 to build muscle and do this instead. You guys want to guess?
Stop doing the 3 sets of 12 and do this instead. With that intro, my guess is you're going to tell people to change the rep range
5
up
by
to 5 by 5 or low rep range.
Do you guys remember
the
when
angle you're going?
Yeah. So oftentimes we get stuck in like a set count and a rep count or a range that's